This is a CBC podcast.
This podcast is an extended version of The Debaters, which may contain more mature themes. To stream the radio-friendly version of this episode, download the CBC Listen app or go to cbc.ca/thedebaters. And thanks for listening to the CBC.
Hey Canada, we're ready to go with the flow. From the banks of the St. Lawrence in Cornwall, it's the Debaters! The Debaters, where comedians fight with facts and funny, and this audience picks the winner. Now here's a man who's always a lock for laughs, Steve Patterson!
Hello, Canada! Hello, Canada! Welcome back to the Debaters. We are here in Cornwall, Ontario. Yeah! A city that loves to give back. There is an annual event here called the Jail and Bail, where people nominate someone they know to be arrested. And then that person tries to raise bail money from friends and family, which is a good way to raise money for charity and or incarcerate irritating family members for 5 to 10 years. Are you ready to meet two debaters who are always worth their price? This comic raised money for kitchen cleaner during a successful lemon pledge drive. It's Ali Hassan. Here comes Ali Hassan, well-known CBC radio man Ali Hassan.
Hello.
And this comic's method of decision-making is heads and tails above the rest. It's Don Kelly. Don Kelly, Ottawa's own, and one of our favorites making his way to my left. Gentlemen, let's get right into it. Your topic is perfect for this Cornwall Comedy Festival. Does every city need a festival? Some have already decided, but we're going to do the debate anyway. The Cornwall Comedy Festival, whose slogan is, "Come for the comedy, stay for the..." They're still finishing the slogan. Anyway, Cornwall used to have an annual Corn Fest, because corn is in the town's name. Even though it no longer happens, I like that it had a longer run than Hamilton's Ham Fest, and was way more popular than Brantford's Bran Fest, even though that one was more regular, and it started a movement. Okay, thank you. So, whereas they invite tourism and a sense of identity, be it resolved that every city needs a festival. Don, you're arguing for this, please. You have 2 minutes, starting now.
Festivals aren't just about a sense of identity. They are our identity. People have been holding festivals for thousands of years. Early humans held harvest festivals, celebrations of fertility and potency, a tradition that continues today right here in Cornwall. Every Saturday night at last call. I'm no stranger to this town, Cornwall. Ollie, you're opposing festivals? You are at a festival, and you've done other ones. You've done Montreal's prestigious Just for Laughs Festival. Now, I haven't been there, but I have done Moose Creek's slightly less prestigious Just for Nothing Festival. And festivals, yes, they raise our sense of identity. The biggest celebration in my hometown of Ottawa, the Tulip Festival. A week-long party for flowers. Tens of thousands of people show up for the Tulip Festival. Thousands more would show up, but they're all trapped in our malfunctioning light rail transit system. And yes, festivals show us our priorities. Like I say, in Ottawa, tulips get a week. Indigenous peoples get a day. And by the time we show up and get organized, 6 hours. Okay, the ones laughing have been to Akwesasne. They know, 6 hours. Imagine my pride. And speaking of pride, pride festivals throughout the world raise our understanding and empathy. This year, Ottawa's beloved mayor, Jim Watson, was inspired to come out right before the Capital Pride Festival, a decision he said it took him 40 years to make. And Ottawa, we embraced him. We're a city of bureaucrats. We figure 40 years is not that bad to make a decision. And bottom line, festivals raise money. Ottawa's annual Poutine Festival brings in millions of cash to the city, and in the following weeks, major donations to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. So festivals, they raise identity, they raise understanding, money, and they raise our spirits because we get to raise a few spirits. Thank you, Cornwall.
Don Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. He likes a good festival. Thank you, Don. Now, to tell us that cities are best without a fest, it's festival frowner, Ali Hassan.
Every single godforsaken weekend, there is a festival of some kind. The Radish Festival, the Cheese Curd Festival, the Underwater Music Festival. And that's just in Van Cleek Hill. That one's going to do well across the country. You got fringe festivals. That's where somebody with a half-assed idea performs for crowds of 12 to 17 people by throwing blood on the wall and calling it art. Well, that was my show last year. I know that. I got a grant for that one. Music festivals. Dude, a complete stranger just gives you a joint. It's awesome, bro. Yeah, well, he sealed that joint with his saliva several times, and that's why you had the flu for 6 weeks afterwards, and probably hepatitis. Even the word festival is a derogatory term. Sausage fest. That is a bunch of future incels hanging out, discussing how to harass women. Probably. I don't know. I've never been invited. I'm not sure what that's. The Stampede, the Film Fest, the Jazz Fest, Osheaga, Caravana, marijuana, Carlos Santana. Where does it end, I'm asking you? And Cornwall, you know, you had Cornfest, and it got taken away from you. It now resides in Cornwall, PEI. Oh, that's gotta sting. Festivals broke your heart. We have people now who will not leave their home unless it's a festival. It's a sham. Oh, I can pay twice the price for a burger that I could have gotten in a food court, and I get to wait in line for 45 minutes for it? Sign me up. Open your eyes, people. It's a sham.
Ali Hassan, ladies and gentlemen. He does not like festivals, and this might be his last Cornwall Comedy Festival, so good job. We got ourselves a debate. I think there's good points either way. It is time now for what we call the bare knuckle round. We're debating whether every city needs a festival, so in order for people to avoid asking, hey, who hired these two clowns? I need you to parade marshal your thoughts into a cohesive argument and would stock up on your jokes. It gets worse, people. Open air your beefs like you don't give a flying folk, and try to give your opponent the blues. Remember, though, that we are doing this all just for laughs. That last one may make some comics gag.
All right, Ollie, look, buddy, we're going to argue, but you know I love you, not only as a person. I love you as well as the host of a national stand-up comedy show with the power to book other acts. I don't want to go off topic, but why aren't you answering my emails, buddy? And okay, back on, focus. Festivals, they're a way to discover new bands, new foods, new drugs.
Okay, I mean, I'll address both of those in turn. Number one, if you try a little harder to lose this debate, maybe I'll start reading some emails. We'll see how that goes.
Check
all
your
right,
spam
bands,
filter.
music, drugs. Man, this is a CBC audience. Like, who's getting their blood pressure meds at a festival? Are you guys? Are you guys getting your Tenormin from an old hippie named Ziggy? That's very irresponsible. That's not how you should get your drugs.
Hey, man, don't bogart that Losartan. All right. The people with high blood pressure enjoyed that line. There you go.
It's pretty specific so far. Just so everyone's listening knows, we're not debating drugs. We are debating festivals in cities.
I'll tell you something, gang. I love children's festivals.
Weird.
Right?
Creepy.
Well, no, you know why? You know why?
Let him finish.
If we end it there, I really got a couple points in my favor.
All right, that's the bare knuckle round. That's fine.
I had a good point.
You got to get the point out in your time. I'm sorry.
Canada
will never know why you love children's festivals. It's not a big deal, Don.
Because I don't have kids. I know all the whiny brats are in one place, and I can go to the movies and for a meal.
Even worse. That is even worse. That you love children's festivals but don't have children. We stopped it at the right time. We made the right decision. It is time now for the firing line. In my hand, I have a list of questions on festivals brought to you by Cornwall's now defunct Hot Air Balloon Festival. Too bad. It's too bad, I know. It took off at first, but then the air went out of it. In 2019, a Clearview, Ontario festival featuring Nickelback and Kid Rock was canceled at the last minute due to what? Ali?
People remembered that Kid Rock was Kid Rock.
It's a good answer. Don Kelly?
I actually know this one. It was canceled because of excessive rain, which in this case was a literal act of God.
That's the correct answer. It was canceled by excessive rain, so that's one official point. Both Collingwood, Ontario and Penticton, British Columbia have festivals where people attend dressed as what? Ali?
Please don't tell me it's brownface.
It's not brownface.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. I don't care what the answer is. I just wanted to know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Collingwood, Ontario and Penticton, BC have festivals where people attend dressed as Elvis Presley. They both have big Elvis festivals. I'll tell you who doesn't care. Cornwall, Ontario. That's who doesn't. If you are coming dressed as Elvis, you just best keep driving, buddy. Halifax hosts a festival called Ping Fest that is dedicated to fans of what? Don Kelly?
People who play ping pong alone.
That's good. 2.5 points for that. Where is my pong? The actual answer is Coronation Street. Ping Fest. There's got to be someone in here who knows what that means. It is estimated that 1.2 million people attend what festival in Toronto every year? Don.
It's the new annual Oust Doug Ford Fest.
That's a good answer. Yeah. Ellie-san?
It's the Not the Stanley Cup Parade Festival.
Okay. That is incorrect, but 3.5 points from the audience here in Cornwall. The actual answer is Caravana Festival, and that's the firing line, everybody. We're nearing that magical time where our audience gets to vote here at the beautiful Altsville Theatre in Cornwall, Ontario. But first, here again to tell us that the festive mood never strikes, no matter what town he's in. It's some fest jesting from Ali Hassan.
My opponent has suggested that we can learn from festivals. Sure. I learned which politicians are homophobic thanks to Pride Fest. I learned that fireworks at a hot air balloon festival are a bad idea. Rest in peace, Hot Air Balloon Fest. I also learned not to trust the festival. Rib Fest turned me into a terrible Muslim. Damn you, ribs! Let me take you back, Cornwall, to the Altamont Festival of 1969, where the Hells Angels killed a black man. I've gotten to know you, Cornwall. You don't want bikers to kill people, do you? You don't want people of color to be murdered, do you? Thank you. I trust that I have your vote. I'm Ali Hassan.
Ali Hassan. All right. Well, that was one way to do it. Way to go, Ali. Now, to tell us that every functioning town needs a festival, it's ever fun-loving Don Kelly.
Imagine Canada without its festivals. Imagine what we'd be missing. Rib Fest, Funny Fest, Folk Fest, Muslim Fest, the Provincial Agricultural Fair of Canada West, Brampton Fall Fair and Wayzaki Carousel International de Film de Rimouski, Festival XSSE, CNE, and the PNE. Hey, don't forget Calgary Stampede and its exact opposite, Muslim Eid. Festival de Voyageurs, Festival of Northern Lights, the Cornwall Cornfest. In PEI, all right. Winterlude and Caravana, Markham Fair and Folklorama, Writers Fest, Children's Fest, Fringe Fest, Music Fest, Blues Fest, Jazz Fest, West Fest, Best Fest, and TIFF. All gone if my opponent, the Grinch who stole festivals, has his way. Vote for fun. Vote festivals, Cornwall.
Don Kelly. All right. Not so much a closing argument as much a list, but that's one way to do it too. It is up to the audience to decide.
Is it a good time to remind people that he goes to children's fests on his own?
Because I don't have kids. They're all there.
Audience, it is your turn to vote for your favorite. Please vote once and clearly. Good practice. Who thinks Don's festival facts and funny were the most fantastic in this debate? Don Kelly. Okay. That's a lot of support. A lot of support. And who thinks Ali finding fault with festivals found the win in this debate? Ali Hassan.
That person.
The crowd has spoken. The winner is Don Kelly. So keep the festivals. Big hand for Don Kelly and Ali Hassan, everybody.
You're listening to The Debaters on CBC Radio 1. If you want to listen to our program live or on demand anytime, make sure you download the CBC Listen app. And now, back to Steve Patterson.
Hey, Cornwall, you ready to meet your next pair of debaters? This is going to be a good one. This comic's cattle ranching business went bust due to poor branding. It's Courtney Gilmore. Courtney Gilmore. Welcome back, Courtney. Taking her spot to my right. And this comic pulled out of a robot staring contest because her machine was on the blink. It's Noor Hadidi. Noor Hadidi, looking ready, smiling and waving here in Cornwall. Your topic, ladies, is best friends. Are they really forever? June 8th is National Best Friends Day. It is also National Rosé Day and National Ocean Day. So, as far as I can see, the best way to celebrate all three is by grabbing your BFF and getting day drunk on a yacht and then falling into the ocean. Anyway, let's not go overboard here. Whereas they are said to share an everlasting bond, be it resolved that best friends are forever. Noor, you are arguing for this, please. You have 2 minutes, starting now.
It's true. Best friends are forever. And Courtney and I are best friends. Yeah, I like to think of us as the Canadian Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. You know? Yeah. Oprah and Gail. Or Quebec and racism. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we've been best friends for 4 years, and our friendship is tighter than the Conservative Party's tolerance for immigrants. Or Steve Patterson and a pint of Guinness.
That's one official point for Noor.
Being Courtney's best friend is actually a title I share with her cat, Ella. But don't worry, Courtney. Unlike your other best friend, you won't have to put me to sleep. I mean, you already do when you talk about her, but that's not on purpose, you know? Yeah, and hey, maybe that was a little mean, but that's what best friends are for. They tell you the truth. You know, Courtney was not always the funny and talented comedian she is today. Yeah, there were years of bad comedy that I had to endure, but I stuck with her because she was my BFF, best friend forever. Not BFUCFL, best friends until Courtney feels like it. Plus, you need a best friend that you can trust with your secrets. Like if, hypothetically, you ordered a cat stroller off of Amazon and did not want to tell anyone, you can count on your best friend's silence. Yeah. Listen, normal friends are like the wind. They come and go. But best friends are like a Montreal highway. Once you're on, there's no getting off. Thank you, Cornwall.
Noor Hadidi. Nice job. CBC crowd's big for acronyms. So the BF, what was that? BFU?
UCFL.
BFUCFL.
BFUCFL. Befuckle for short, sorry.
Yeah. You don't want to just be a befuckle. Can we say that? We could say that. It's not a word. Bufuckle. Oh. Thank you, Nora. Okay. Now, to tell us she never says best friends forever, it's the always friendly Courtney Gilmore.
Thank you. First off, Steve, I just want to let you know that the proximity of my opponent's podium is currently violating the restraining order I have against her.
I'm sorry.
So
Nora, move
I'm
back
have
a
to
bit.
deal with that. Look, I'm actually all for friendship, but I have to burst your BFF bubble, Nora. Best is a lot of pressure, and so is forever. There are plenty of terms with the word best in them that don't live up to their expectations. Best burger in town, Best Buy, best man. Forever sounds great. It sounds really nice until you're on an 8-hour road trip with no civilization in sight and both of you are on your period. You'd be amazed at how quickly forever turns into, I'll call you. Why do you have to pick just one? No one has ever only called one person their best friend. Haven't you ever been to a bachelorette party? Stacy gets a few tequila shots in her. You can expect that at some point in the night, all 7 bridesmaids will be pulled into the club bathroom, one by one, told, "Oh my God, Amber, I love you so much. You're my best friend." At least marriage puts a timeline on the thing, you know? We have till death do us part. That's a deadline I can get behind. I'll do my best to chip in a lifetime of late-night pizza hangouts, talking you through your 4th breakup with Tyler. But once I cross over that rainbow bridge, we're free to see other people. Nora wants you to think that friendship is like being stuck on a Montreal highway with no end in sight. I say it's like an escape room. It's fun for a while, you solve a few problems, and then eventually it's like, okay, but seriously, where's the exit? Thank you so much.
Courtney Gilmore, well done. It is time now for the bare knuckle round. We are debating whether best friends really are forever, so you two bosom buddies need to stay faithful to your argument while putting each other's feet to the friendly fire. Deliver your jokes with confidence in this segment that I like to think of as the sisterhood of the traveling puns.
Would a real best friend out you on national radio about your cat stroller? Me and the Pet Gear 600 are doing just fine, thank you.
Okay, so you bought your cat Ella a stroller, but what have you gotten me? You know, let the record show that in this friendship, I am the one buying the gifts. Last time I went home to Jordan in the Middle East, I got Courtney and I matching engraved bracelets.
That's true, she did do that, and while that was a very sweet gesture, she remembered that I am an arm amputee and can't wear bracelets.
Yeah?
It makes me the best friend that I forgot that she doesn't have hands.
It looks great on my nightstand. It looks great there, just sitting.
All right.
Also, I do not expect us to be best friends when we're dead. You know, that's why you think it's a lot of pressure. Yeah, once we die, you can consider yourself ghosted.
Okay, that's the bare knuckle round. Moving on now, it is time now for the firing line. In my hand, I have a list of questions on best friends forever, brought to you by Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie. Sure, they fight, but they always make up with felt heart apologies. It's a nice moment. All right. According to Eleanor Roosevelt, where do true friends leave footprints? Courtney?
In the sand next to God's.
In the sand next to God's is not the answer I have here. Nor?
On the backs of your exes.
Whoa, snap. Snap. The actual answer, Eleanor Roosevelt said that true friends leave footprints in your heart. We are going to sell that reaction to other CBC shows. It's going to really soften things up on the current. 17.com's list of 13 celebrities you didn't know were best friends pairs rapper Snoop Dogg with whom? Courtney Gilmore.
His weed dealer.
Yeah, Martha Stewart. So that's the correct answer. Way to go. Weed infused with just a little bit of cilantro. It's really nice. According to Canadian Living, the number one reason best friends are important is because they provide what? Nor?
Bracelets. It was expensive.
Still no. The number one reason best friends are important is because they provide each other with comfort. I'm enjoying this. PsychCentral.com says that female friends are more likely than male friends to break up after what? Courtney.
One of them gets bangs.
The audience has given you 1.5 for that. Nora Hadidi.
After one of them buys a cat stroller.
No, good answer. Good answer. That's a 2-point answer. The actual answer is an argument, but I like Nora's better. That's the firing line, everybody. It is almost time for our Altspill Theater audience to pick a winner. But first, here again to tell us why best friends aren't like diamonds, so they're not forever. It's Shiny Diamond, Courtney Gilmore.
Thank you, Steve. I want you to think back to your very first best friend. Probably in kindergarten, right? A quirky, freckle-faced little boy named Kevin who you played marbles with at recess. Look him up on Facebook. Guess what? Kevin is now a 35-year-old incel Trump supporter with a pet tarantula, an overactive Reddit account, and he does Twitch live streams in his mother's basement. Noor wants you to think that you have to be best friends with Kevin forever. And I'm here to tell you, screw Kevin. Things change, Noor. You gotta embrace it. Everything good in life is short and sweet, like bite-sized brownies and that feeling you get mid-sneeze. Right? Also, time is an illusion. Thank you, Cornwall.
Courtney Gilmore with some sobering thoughts on why you shouldn't keep a best friend forever, and that Kevin one seemed pretty specific. Now, here again to tell us that best friends never end, it's some more pal punchlines from Noor Hadidi.
Listen, Courtney, a friendship is not a gym membership. You can't just cancel because you're not actively using all the amazing services that we have to offer. You know, and we're millennials. Forever is not a real thing. It just means when the climate apocalypse happens at the end of this year, or when Greta Thunberg says it will. Listen, I think the best things in life are long-lasting, like a large double-double from Tim's, Ron McLean's career, and being best friends. Thank you.
Noor Hadidi. All right. Our debaters have spoken. It is up for our Altspill Theater audience to decide by applause who thinks that Noor's best friend, Facts and Funny, were first in this debate. Noor Hadidi. Nice support for Noor. Okay. And who thinks Courtney's anti-best friends formula was more fantastic? Courtney Gilmore. Okay. I mean, I could hear which way it's going, but I'm not going to be the cause of it. We have a tie. Ladies and gentlemen, Noor Hadidi and Courtney Gilmore. That's all for this week. I'm Steve Patterson saying if you're lucky, you'll marry your best friend. If you're very lucky, you'll marry your 2 best friends. I'll argue with you again soon, Canada. Good night.
The Debaters is created by Richard Side. This week's episode was produced by Graham Clark, Nicole Callender, Katie Ellen Humphreys, and Josh Bailey. With technical production by Jean-Sébastien Villeneuve and Conrad Hijazi. Tracy Rideout is the executive producer of CBC Radio Comedy. And thanks to everyone at the Altspill Theater and the Cornwall Comedy Festival. Hey Debaters fans, be sure to follow us at CBC Debaters for tour dates and exclusive content. That's CBC Debaters on Facebook and Twitter.
For more CBC podcasts, go to cbc.ca/podcasts.